أعزائي طلبة وطالبات الثانوية العامة القسم العلمي رياضيات لغات، أهلا بكم في حلقة جديدة من حلقات برنامجنا برنامج ديناميكس. النهاردة إن شاء الله هنستعرض مع بعض أهم موضوعات درسناها السنة دي في ريفيجن عامة على موضوعات منهجنا. هنشوف إزاي نقدر نتعامل مع كل درس على حدة، هنشوف إزاي نقدر نتعامل مع أي كيرف يجيلي، شكل الكيرف أتعامل معاه إزاي، هقدر اشوف كمان ازاي اقدر استخدم الديريفيتيف، ازاي اقدر استخدم الانتجريشن، امتى استخدم ده امتى استخدم ده. تعالوا مع بعض نستعرض مع بعض الاكسرسايز بتاعت النهارده ونشوف مع بعض ازاي نقدر نعمل ريفيجن بهدوء على منهجنا. Dear students of grade 3 secondary, welcome to our math program. Today we have dynamics. Our lesson today is revision. Number 1, if x equal 6t minus t power 2, then the distance traveled within the time interval t bigger than or equal 0, smaller than or equal 6 is 0, 9, 18, 36. Now we know that x is the position vector. What is the displacement vector? Displacement vector S equals x minus x node. Then S equals 6t minus t power 2 because x node equals 0. Now the velocity equals v equals dx dt or ds dt. Then the velocity is the derivative of position vector or displacement vector. V equal derivative of 6t which equals 6 minus derivative of t power 2 which equals 2t. Now put the velocity v equals 0. Then 6 minus 2t equals 0 and the time t equal 3. When the velocity of the body equals 0, the time equal 3 seconds. In this example, the required is the distance traveled within the time interval 0 t bigger than or equal 0, smaller than or equal 6. Then the distance during this interval from t equals 0 to t equals 6 equals absolute s of 3 minus s of 0 plus absolute s of 6 minus s of 3. Absolute s of 3 equals 19 minus 18 minus 9 minus 0 plus 36 minus 18 minus 9 which equals 18. S of 3 we substitution about t equal 3 in s, 6 times 3 minus 3 power 2 which equals 18 minus 9. When t equals 0, s equals 0. And when s equal 6, when t equals 6, s equal 36 minus 36. And when t equals 3, s equals 18 minus 9. Then from t equals 0 to t equals 6 equals 18, then we can choose letter C. Number 2, a tank moves with uniform velocity on a horizontal road against resistance equals 90 kilogram weight per ton per each ton of the mass of the tank. If the force of its motor equals 4,500 kilogram weight, then the mass of the tank equals letter A 50 kilogram, letter B 50 ton, letter C 405 ton, letter D 4,410 kilogram. Now the tank moves with uniform velocity. Uniform velocity meaning that the acceleration of this motion equals 0. Then the resistance R equals the force F. when the mass of the tank equal m ton and R equal F, R equals 90 kilogram weight per each ton, then 90 m equal the force of the motor for 4,500 kilogram weight. 90 meter equals 4,500, then the mass of the tank equals 50 ton, and we can choose letter B. In the opposite figure, if the system started the motion from rest on smooth horizontal plane, then the pressure on the pulley axis, considering G is equal 9.8 meter per second square or 980 centimeter per second square, equals, the pressure equals letter A, 2 over 3 mg, 1 over 3 root 2 mg, 2 over 3 root 2 mg, 2 root 2 mg. Now we have a body started motion from rest placed on smooth horizontal plane, and the pressure in the pulley is the required. The equation of motion are T equals 2ma, equation number 1, and mg minus T equals ma, equation number 2. By adding the two equations, we get mg equals 3ma. Then the acceleration A equals third g. Now, what is the tension in the string? P equals 2ma. Then, by substitution in equation number 1, the tension T equals 2m multiply third g. Then T equals 2 over 3 mg, and the pressure in the pulley equals root 2T. Then we get P equals 2 over 3 root 2 mg. Number 4, if V, the velocity, equal 3t power 2 minus 2t, x equal 1 when t equals 0, then x equals what? What is the relation between x and the time t? Letter A, 6t minus 2. Letter B, 3t power 2 minus 2t plus 1. Letter C, t power 3 minus t power 2 plus 1. Letter D, t power 3 minus t power 2 minus 1. We know that the velocity v equals dx dt. Then dx dt equals 3t power 2 minus 2t. And the integration of dx from 1 to x equals integration 3t power 2 minus 2t dt from 0 to t. Now we have a relation between the position vector x and the function 3t power 2 minus 2t, which is the velocity in time t. The integration of dx is x from 1 to x. And the integration of 3t power 2 is t power 3 minus integration of 2t equals t power 2 from 0 to t. Then x equals t power 3 minus t power 2 plus 1, and we can choose letter C. Another example. A force F vector acts on a body of mass 2 kg at rest, moving in a straight line starting from the origin point O on the straight line, and the force F equals 2x plus 3, where x is the distance between the body and the point O measured in meter and F in Newton. Find number 1, the velocity of the body v when x equals 2 meters. Number 2, the displacement of the body when v equals 2 root 7 meter per second. In this example, we have F, the force, in terms of x. That means that the force acting on the body is a variable force. When the force is variable, then we use the integration, the definite integral, to find the velocity. Now we have F equals 2x plus 3, and we know that the force F equals MA. Then MA equals 2x plus 3. M is the mass of the body, A is the acceleration of the motion. Then 2v dv dx, 2 is the mass of the body in kilogram, and the acceleration equals v dv dx equals 2x plus 3. Then 2v dv equals 2x plus 3 dx. Now 2 integration v dv from 0 to v equals integration 2x plus 3 dx from 0 to 2. The integration of v equals v power 2 over 2, and the integration of 2x is x power 2, and the integration of 3 is 3x. Then 2 multiply v power 2 over 2 from 0 to v equals x power 2 plus 3x from 0 to 2. Now we can substitute in this equation. 2 multiply v power 2 over 2 minus 2 multiply 0, which equals 2 times v power 2 over 2, equals 2 power 2 plus 3 times 2 minus 0. Then v power 2 equals 10, and the velocity v equals positive or negative square root of 10 meter per second. Now, what is the displacement of the body when v equal 2 root 7? We can write this relation, integration v dv from 0 to 2 root 7 equals integration 2x plus 3 dx from 0 to x. 2 multiply v power 2 over 2 from 0 to 2 root 7. Integration of v is v power 2 over 2. And the integration of 2x equals x power 2, and the integration of 3 equals 3x from 0 to x. Then 2 multiply v power 2 or 2 root 7 all power 2, which equals 28 over 2, equals x power 2 plus 3x. Now we have quadratic equation x power 2 plus 3x minus 28 equals 0. By factorize this equation, we can solve for x. Then the value of x equals 4 or x equals negative 7. Then the displacement of the body equals 4 or negative 7 when its velocity equals 2 root 7 meter per second. Another example. Two bodies of masses 125 gram and 120 gram are suspended at the ends of a string passing over a small pulley. The system begins its motion from rest when the two bodies are in one horizontal plane. Find the acceleration of motion, the magnitude of the tension in the string, pressure on the pulley, and the vertical distance between the two bodies after 1 second from starting motion. Now we have small pulley and two bodies of masses 125 gram and 120 gram suspended at the two ends of the string and the string passing over the pulley. Now, what is the equation of motion? We have m1 bigger than m2, then the equation of motion R. m1g minus t equals m1a. The second equation, t minus m2g equals m2a. By adding the two equations, we get m1g minus m2g equals m1a plus m2a. Then 125 times 980 minus 120 times 980 equals 125a plus 120a. Then 4900 equals 245a. Then the acceleration equals 20 centimeter per second squared. Now we calculate the acceleration of motion. What is the magnitude of the tension in the string? We can substitution in any equation or in equation number 2. Then t minus 120 times 980 equals 120 times 20. Then the tension in the string equals 120,000 dyne. S equals V naught T plus half AT squared. The vertical distance equals 2S equals 2 times 10 equals 20 centimeter. We can calculate the distance which anybody moves, M1 down, M2 up, then the vertical distance equals twice S or 2S. When S equals 10, then the vertical distance between the two bodies equals 20 centimeter after 1 second from starting motion. Another example. The opposite figure represents the force time graph. Then the magnitude of the impulse of F within the time interval 0 to 5, closed time interval 0 to 5 in Newton second equals what? Equals 12, equals 16, equals 20, or equals 25. We know that the impulse equal the change of momentum or equals F times T. But when we have a graph, then the impulse equals the area under the curve. The area under the curve, which equals half P1 plus P2 times height, or integration F dt from 0 to 5. Now, I equals half multiply P1, the first base, which equals 5 units, plus P2, which equals 3 units, times the height, which equals 5. Then the impulse equals 2 times 8 times 5, which equals 20 Newton second. Then the impulse of F within the time interval, closed interval 0 to 5 in Newton second equals 20, and we can choose letter C. Another example. A rubber ball of mass 1 kilogram fell from a height of 4.9 meter on a horizontal solid ground and rebounded to a maximum height of 2.5 meter. Calculate the magnitude of the change of its momentum due to impact. Then find the magnitude of the reaction of the ground on the ball in Newton if the contact time with the ground is 0.1 second. Now we have a rubber ball of mass 1 kilogram fell from height 4.9 meter and rebounded to a maximum height of 2.5 meter. Then what is the velocity before the impact? The velocity before the impact with the ground directly v squared equals v naught square plus 2gs. Then v power 2 equals 0 plus 2 times 9.8 times 4.9. Then v power 2 equals 9.8 power 2. Then the velocity v equals 9.8 meter per second. The velocity before the impact with the ground directly equals 9.8 meter per second. Now, what is the velocity after the impact with the ground directly? Now, we can use the same rule. V squared equals V naught square minus 2GS. Now, G equals negative 9.8 because the positive direction of G is downwards, but the ball is rebounded upward to the maximum height. Then V power 2 equal V naught power 2 minus 2GS. At the maximum height, the velocity equals 0. Then 0 equals V naught power 2 minus 2 times 9.8 times 2.5. Then the initial velocity V naught equals 7 meter per second. Now, what is the change in momentum? dH equals mv dash minus v. dH equals the mass of the ball equal 1 kilogram times the velocity v dash, which is the velocity after impact with the ground directly, minus negative 9.8 is the velocity of the ball before the impact with the ground directly. Why negative? Because the positive direction is upward. Then delta H equals 16.8 kilogram meter per second or 16.8 Newton second. Now we know that the force act on the body, the ball act on the ground by force F and its weight mg. The ground act on the ball by the reaction R, and F equals R minus mg. Then 168 equals R minus 1 times 9.8. Then R equal 168 plus 9.8. Then the reaction of the ground equals 177.8 Newton. And we know that the reaction of the ground on the ball R equals F plus mg, because the ball moves downward. Then the reaction equal F plus mg. We know that the reaction of the ground on the ball perpendicular to the ground in the opposite direction of motion, and the weight of the ball vertically downward, and the force F or the impulsive force also vertically downward. Then F equals R minus mg, or R equals F plus mg, which equals 177.8 نيوتن. بكده اعزائي نكون استعرضنا مع بعض تمارين واكسرسايز على اهم موضوعات منهجنا. شفنا ازاي نقدر نتعامل مع كل نوع من المسائل، شفنا ازاي تعاملنا مع نوعيه الانتجريشن، نوعيه الديريفيتيف، تعاملنا مع الكيرف. اي كيرف يقابلني هنقرا الكيرف صح، هنقدر نترجم المطلوب مني عن طريق قرايه الكيرف. لو قريت الكيرف صح وعرفت اليونتس المستخدمه ايه هي، هعرف اشوف هو عايز الامبلس، عايز الورك، ايه هو طالبه بالظبط. هقدر باستخدام الانتجريشن او الاريا اجيب المطلوب مني. كمان شفت الفورس، ممكن تكون الفورس كونستانت وممكن تكون الفورس فاريبل، فلازم اكون بعرف اقرا كويس الاف بتاعتي اللي هي الفورس ان ترمز اوف فاريبل ولا هي كونستانت. لو كانت كونستانت بتعامل بالرولز اللي انا عارفها تمام، لكن لو كانت فاريبل لازم ادخل الانتجريشن في الموضوع عشان اخد بالي وما غلطش في اي حاجه من الحاجات اللي ممكن يوقعني فيها سؤال في يونتس متغيره او فورس تكون فاريبل ما هياش كونستانت فورس. اشكركم والى اللقاء في حلقه قادمه ان شاء الله.